Between 1963 and 1969, the BBC recorded 253 episodes of Doctor Who. Today, only 143 episodes remain for us to enjoy. Even the Daleks, the arch enemy of the Doctor, couldn't escape extermination.
We are not ready yet to teach these human beings the law of the Daleks. To wait here until the human beings fight among themselves. Exterminate all humans! Exterminate all humans! Exterminate, annihilate, destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy! Daleks conquer and destroy!
Where the devil are you? Come on!
The 12-part adventure story, The Daleks' Master Plan, is a good example of how Doctor Who episodes were destroyed and then rediscovered. That sequence showed the last few remaining extracts from episode 1, kept because they were sent to a BBC film library.
Other extracts from episodes 2, 3 and 4 were also kept. Some are original film sequences. Others survive because they were featured in programmes such as Blue Peter.
find someone you can trust, someone in a high enough position that may be able to help.
Well, Carlton is the man in charge of all space security, but he's very close to Chen.
Yes, well, this chap Carlton, he may be part of the plan with the Daleks.
Yes, it's possible.
Yes, it is. Oh. Crashing for a change of cost.
Steering boosters won't fire. I can't get around.
Switch to manual control.
Can't. We're picking up speed.
You know, I believe we're approaching the gravitational point of that planet.
Desperate.
Has it any kind of atmosphere?
We can't get off there. We'll never be able to get off again.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
Desperus is the penal planet of the solar system.
Well, if it's one of your prison planets, surely there are guards and warders there to help us.
There aren't any. The only craft which stop there are prison ships bringing out the criminals. If we crash there, we'll be left there to rot the rest of our lives away.
You must try to land softly somewhere.
I can't. This vessel is out of my control.
Space vessels instruments now randomized. On course for planet Desperus. Impact in 0.6. Remote control standing by. Cut in remote control. Now under Dalek control.
Stop that! Turn the talk back on again!
There's no point.
Turn it on again before he really hurts us.
Look, he can't kill all he hasn't a hostage.
The animal! Well, that's just a start. Now do as I say!
Change course. Now that's more like it. Take him back to Kendall. Take him back to Kemble. Let the Daleks deal with him.
Yes, and us.
Oh, don't worry, dear boy. We'll find a way out.
I can't sacrifice everything for the sake of that one girl.
Without us, you wouldn't have got up Kemble at all, and nothing would be worth bothering about.
All right, so we all go out of it together. But without me, I doubt if you'd have got this far right.
Yes, all right, but I won't let you hurt Katerina. We'll head back for Kemble. As the doctor says on the way, we may find a way to get her out of there.
You won't.
No, not that far! Katerina! Katerina!
In 1983, 2 complete episodes of the Daleks' master plan were returned to the BBC. What they were doing in the basement of a Mormon church, however, remains a mystery to this day.
Well, 2 down, 10 more to find. Now, while most episodes were returned from BBC's commercial arm, that's BBC Enterprises, many more episodes only survived because of the hard work of dedicated fans and film collectors who are sometimes unaware of the importance of their finds.
I bought Evil of the Daleks Part 2 and The Faceless Ones Part 3 from Buckingham Movie Museum car boot sale in, I think it was the summer of 1983. They just happened to be literally in the boot of an elderly dealer who had various television stuff, and 2 of the Doctor Who episodes which caught my eye. At the time I wasn't particularly interested in Doctor Who. The interest had waned over the years, but the title of the Daleks caught my eye, having been a fan when I was a child, so I thought, well, I may as well have them if the price is right, and it was, which was £8 knocked down from £12, incredibly enough, for film.
Move! The weight of your body has fallen by 17 ounces.
What do you expect? What do you expect? For pity's sake, let me go!
Speak when you are told to speak.
And at the time I didn't actually realise the rarity of the episodes. I just assumed the BBC, as a big organisation, had loads of excess copies of things like Doctor Who and other things. So it didn't occur to me that these may be the only copies in existence in the world, literally. And these actually are the original prints which I bought then. It's the Evil of the Daleks, Faceless Ones, 60mm optical sound. There we are.
Jimmy, look!
What's that, Doctor? Someone who's not used to the Earth's atmosphere.
In February 1983, I put an advert in my local paper just advertising for anyone with privately owned film collections to let me know if they had any TV-related episodes, including Doctor Who. Purely by chance, one person actually replied, who again by chance didn't have anything, but had been in contact with a film collector in Southampton, who he recalled did have several Doctor Who episodes. It turned out that one of the episodes this collector had was part 3 of The Wheel in Space.
The X-rays are processed now.
Fine.
Will you turn the light up, Jamie?
Here we go. Let's see what we've got.
What's that?
It's a Cybermat. The lights, Jamie, the lights. Cybermats.
That means the Cybermen must be here too.
Yes. And there's only one place they can be. On that rocket.
Part 3 of The Wheel in Space was at the time the earliest surviving episode featuring Patrick Troughton Cybermats, until of course the later uncovery of The Tomb of the Cybermen in 1992.
Last time, they were frozen for 5 centuries. This time it must be forever.
The classic Doctor Who story, Tomb of the Cybermen, was returned in 1992 from a television station in Hong Kong. The reasons why episodes are missing from the archives is somewhat complicated. Sue Malden was the BBC's first archive selector, a post not established until 1978.
Like many other programmes, the BBC doesn't have a full set of all the Doctor Who episodes. The problems of the rights of the artists in the material, and also the BBC's agreements with unions such as the Musicians' Union and Equity, severely limited the number of transmissions and the kind of use that BBC could make of programming. Originally this was limited to 1 UK transmission with 1 repeat. Thereafter we see many of the library records indicating that programmes were released for junking or wiping then.
Take the strain. Stand by.
Well, the good news was, though, that we know that enterprises, or Worldwide as they are known now, who sold BBC programmes, often had to transfer the videotape original to film recording because many of their customers were still using film rather than videotape. And we tracked down many of these film recordings with Worldwide and with their customers, and this was a great opportunity for us to start finding not just Doctor Who's but many other BBC programmes. Series of Z-Cars came back, Till Death Us Do Part, Up Pompeii and so on, but particularly many Doctor Who episodes came back to the archive that way. And from that process we know that virtually every Doctor Who was film recorded, so they are out there somewhere. We have had many successes in the past, they have begun to dry up, but we're still always hopeful that there will be some programmes found, or some extracts of programmes found out there somewhere.
It was the pioneer groundwork that we put into motion that caused these to be found. In the old days, had we not done what we did, they'd have all gone the way of all flesh. Everybody knew we were looking for Doctor Who's. Picture the scene, 1978. John Bridger from Film Library Sales takes me on my own into BBC Enterprises' film vault for the first time, like a kid let loose in a sweet shop who hasn't eaten for 5 days. All these cans of Doctor Who prints, but my eyes immediately went to this great big pile of cans. I worked out there were 28 cans in the pile, taped up with this strong white gaffer tape, taped round the whole lot, and a big oblong sticker, withdrawn, deaccessioned and junked, on the top of them. These were there to be burnt. These were all 7 negatives, all 7 positives in English, and all 7 negatives and all 7 positives in Arabic of the entire story of the Daleks.
Any luck, Grandfather? Well, have you made another third link yet?
No, I can't, my child. And I've looked through all my spares, and I've really discovered we do need some mercury.
Oh, no.
Which put us in a bit of a jam. I must get that fluid ink back again. I'm afraid my little trick has rather rebounded on me.
We got hold of Sue Malden, who was in a newly created post of senior archivist, and I told her that they were destroying these old Doctor Who prints at BBC Enterprises, because somehow they had obviously mistakenly thought the BBC Film Library had them all and they just held some scrapped out viewing prints that they could get rid of, which they had been doing systematically. From 1972, every Doctor Who episode existed, up to 1978, when we began 78, they had systematically destroyed something like 160 episodes, of which we found a few in other sources.
Cannot control! Cannot control! Help me! Help me! Help! 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 Ah!
When I started looking for missing episodes in 1977, the Space Pirates was only 8 years old. It is not unreasonable to find episodes that are 8 or 9 years old. It is not unreasonable to think you'll turn them up. It is completely unreasonable now, in 1998, to think that Marco Polo, that was shown in 1964, which is 34 years ago, it is completely unreasonable to think that things like that, if they were going to turn up, they would have turned up. We would have found them. I don't think there's anything else left to find. Please prove me wrong, but I think there will always be 110 missing Doctor Who episodes.
It's sadly unlikely that any more missing Doctor Who episodes will turn up, but material does still resurface. Recently, a series of clips from missing episodes were discovered in the archives of the Australian Government Censor.
When overseas produced programs were offered to Australian television stations, it was routine to send them to the Film Censorship Board for classification before they could be screened.
You're a fool, Joe Longfoot. But before you go to join your mates, tell me what I want to know. Speak up.
I raise curse on you. You're black villain.
Speak, damn you!
It was in early '96 that I decided to do research into the screening of Doctor Who in Australia, and this included accessing the Censor Board's original notes on the series. The Government Archive internet site led me to particular documents which contained the details that I needed. And several references through the board's paperwork pointed to footage actually being returned to the board's offices after the physical cutting of the films had taken place at the ABC.
It'll be a merry night. But not for you.
No!
Fare ye well. Jamaica.
Returning cut footage was the best way of ensuring that the required deletions had been made, and was a government requirement to do so. I knew that much of the material that had been cut was from episodes of Doctor Who not currently known to be in existence, and I was very excited at the prospect of locating it.
Keep away!
Bring her here. Don't be difficult, girl. It's quite painless. Lights?
One tiny jab, and you'll know nothing more about it until it's all over. The lights are playing up again. Go and see what's wrong. Right.
Of all the clips, the best one would have to be from Patrick Troughton's story Fury from the Deep, which lasts for just under a minute. In the clip, two characters, Mr. Oak and Mr. Quill, both possessed by the mysterious weed creature, enter Mrs. Harris's room and exhale toxic fumes which completely engulf her. It's possibly the most chilling sequence ever filmed for Doctor Who.
What are you doing in here? Is there something that you want?
Clips from the Macra Terror are also very nice to have, as there's only ever been one publicity photo of the Macra Beast, and these clips show the monster lurking through the shadows. and this was responsible for much of the feel of that story.
There's another one!
These censored clips, as they become known, are important, as they give us a proper taste of what many missing episodes were really like.
Come on, Kimmy, let's get out of here. Get us out of here! Bring the lift
Robson, listen to me. Can you hear me? Robson, come back, man. Come back. Robson, don't you realize what they're trying to do to you? They're trying to control you. Robson, listen to me. Robson.
Although only a few clips exist from Fury from the Deep, some intriguing behind-the-scenes footage does exist, revealing some of the secrets of the special effects wizards who helped make Doctor Who what it was.
Keep away from me! Keep away!
Fury from the Deep was the last story I appeared in. There is also similar footage surviving from my first story, detailing the filming of the explosive climax to The Evil of the Daleks.
This is your Emperor speaking. There is danger here. Obey me. Do not fight in here. Do not fight in here. I said, obey me. Your Emperor is ordering you. Do not fight in here. Do not fight in
Perhaps the most sought-after missing episode of all is the fourth and final instalment of The 10th Planet. It was William Hartnell's last episode, and it was also the first to feature the concept of regeneration.
Some clips do survive from Part 4, and from the following story, The Power of the Daleks, starring Patrick Troughton. The following sequence was assembled from material of varying quality, so do not adjust your set. This gives us an insight into how the first transition from one doctor to another was achieved.
This sort of body of mine is wearing a bit thin.
What do you mean wearing a bit thin?
Oh, don't worry, child, don't worry, don't worry. It's far from being all over.
No,
leave it.
tracking room. Something about this old body of mine is wearing a bit thin.
So he gets himself a new one? It's over. What are we going to do?
It is the doctor, I know it is. I think.
It's not only his face that's changed, he doesn't even act like him.
Perhaps one of the most impressive finds in recent years comes from the 1965 William Hartnell story, Galaxy 4. Now, this four-part story remained intact until the BBC's last copy was destroyed in 1977. However, a clip from the first episode was used in a documentary about Doctor Who, and this gave a clue as to the whereabouts of further footage.
While they were making the Lively Arts Doctor Who documentary, Stephen Payne and I were advising with the Doctor Who facts side of it. And during our chats, it became apparent that there were some film extracts being made for reference purposes for the documentary, and at the end, they would be just flung out, as in the normal course of events. So we said, if you're going to fling them out to us. And very nicely they did. And these odds and ends just sat around for a few years, and it wasn't until we discovered what was left of Doctor Who in the archives that we discovered that the Galaxy 4 clip that was there didn't exist anymore as a full programme. So we offered it to the archives. They said, no thank you, we're after full programmes at the moment. Extracts are not really overly interesting. Of course, things have changed now. Extracts are very interesting. And so this seems very much the time now to see an extract from Galaxy 4.
Oh, good gracious.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so. Oh, it's all the physical exercise of my age.
They're nearly here. Quickly, inside. Close external door. Close external door.
Well, it was a decent spaceship once.
It's pretty backward now, isn't it? Yes, it's almost fossilised.
Oh, I don't know. It's got one or two good features.
Beat those chumblies. They're still outside.
Are we safe here?
Yes. They cannot enter. Silence.
Oh.
Marga is coming.
Marga? Oh, we're back there again.
Report. Mission accomplished. We have brought the prisoners.
Prisoners?
And the metal mesh? It stopped the machine. Good. We could not get the mesh back. What? It became affixed to the machine.
She's got them pretty frightened, hasn't she,
Yes,
Doctor?
madam. The young lady speaks the truth. The chumblies are magnetised.
I will deal with you both later. Sit. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Won't you sit down?
Yes. Thank you, I will.
I have to hear the report first.
Oh, naturally.
It is necessary when you are at war.
At war?
With the Rills and their machines. The Chumblies. This is a fight to the death. For existence itself.
I see.
In which one of us will be obliterated.
Oh, as bad as that?
Yes. So bad that it is conceivable that you, too, will be obliterated.
Oh, come now. There's no need to exaggerate.
It's no exaggeration.
You want to kill us, don't you? You want to.
When a planet disintegrates, nothing survives.
Disintegrates this planet?
Yes. It's in its last moments of life. Soon, it will explode.
When?
In 14 dawns' time.
Look, how do you know? How can you be so certain?
The Rills told us. That is why they're repairing their spaceship, so that they can escape.
Well, that sounds reasonable enough to me.
We must capture that spaceship from them.
What for? This is a spaceship as well, isn't it?
Yes, but it cannot fly. The Rills shut us down. We cannot move.
You don't belong here.
No, nor do the Rills. We come from Drava. Some 400 dawns ago, we were investigating this particular section of the galaxy. We were looking for a planet such as this, capable of supporting life, so that we might colonize it. There are too many of us on Drava.
All women?
Women?
Yes, feminine, female.
Oh, we have a small number of men, as many as we need. The rest we kill. They consume valuable food and fulfill no particular function. And these are not what you would call human. They are cultivated in test tubes. We have very good scientists. I am a living being. They are products, and inferior products, grown for a purpose and capable of nothing more.
Grown for what purpose?
To fight, to kill.
Yours must be a very interesting civilization. You attacked the Rills?
No. We were in space above this planet when we saw a ship such as we had never seen before. We did not know it, but it was a Rill ship. It fired on us and we crashed. But before we did, we managed to fire back so that they crashed too. On landing, they killed one of my soldiers.
What are they like, these Rills?
Disgusting.
Well, that's no description at all.
That's all I'll say.
Yes, I think I'm beginning to understand.
Yeah, so am I, Doctor.
Yeah.
This planet's about to explode. The Rills have managed to repair their ship in time so they can escape. You haven't, so you want their ship.
We have no desire to be here when this planet ceases to exist. Machine approaching. To your stations. Switch off the outside radio.
What are they doing now?
Better have another go at the Chumblies by the look of things.
Off the outside radio? Why, I wonder?
They send the machines to tell us lies. We do not wish to hear them.
Yes, madam, you may not, but I'd like to hear it.
It's not good for my soldiers.
Yeah, I see. It stopped.
Yes. Now it is sending its message. Fire!
You didn't do it very much damage, did you?
My only intention was to scare it off. We've succeeded. To your places?
And you haven't destroyed one Chumley yet.
We will.
You know, I think you rather underestimate the Rills. Why should they tell you that this planet is going to die?
They were trying to tempt us on board their spaceship so that they may kill us.
You know, it seems to me as if they offered you help.
That is what they maintain.
They might have been speaking the truth. They might have meant it.
On the other hand, it might have been a pack of lies.
Generally what happened to Doctor Who episodes in New Zealand was that once they'd screened, or even if they hadn't been screened, they were sent on to another country, such as Hong Kong. But in the case of The Lion and several others, they were meant to have been destroyed.
I knew that stuff did go walkies from the NZBC, and that somewhere, somehow, there must be a Doctor Who that had survived the junkings.
What happened was that a film buff in Wellington got wind of the dumping and intercepted the consignment of films and rescued about 200 of them, fortunately including The Lion.
I bumped into Cornelia Stone, an old friend of mine, in an Auckland comic store of all places, and we were discussing 60mm film prints and collectors, and the name Bruce Grenville came up, who was a friend of Corn's. We were discussing some of the stuff that Bruce had, and at the end of the conversation I just sort of lightheartedly said, "He doesn't have any Doctor Who, does he?" Corn thought about that for a minute and said, "Yeah, actually I think he does."
In 1998, Larry Duggan, a fellow film buff in New Zealand, purchased a big collection of old films, and one of those films was The Lion. I added the film to my collection of 16mm movies and showed it regularly to my friends, and must have screened it quite a number of occasions at my home and out on other locations. But I was totally unaware of the importance of the film, because I assumed, well, it's just a 16mm print of which the BBC have hundreds, and I assumed that these films were fairly common.
I'll just take a look around. Yes, yes.
Bruce very graciously allowed us to videotape the episode, so I thought at least we'd have a visual record of it for starters. And I contacted Paul, because he had a video camera, and that night we went around to Bruce's, and it's pretty amazing.
I immediately contacted the BBC's restoration team, and then negotiated with Bruce to borrow the episode so that it could be sent to the BBC for a few weeks.
I'm sure that not only in New Zealand, but anywhere in the world, somewhere, somehow, someone's going to find some more Doctor Who. They're out there somewhere.